real people.
His name is Joe.
Instead of fighting with these people, what I do is I throw stats at them. Let them go with it.
The Adventures of Joe.
But I've actually even got to the point now when somebody starts arguing with me, prove your facts. I go, now.
All right, what do you say, Joe? What do you say to that?
You didn't prove yours. Mine you can find at the CDC or on the FBI website. You need to do your own homework. Because when you spoon feed them, even when you do that, they tell you you're wrong, even though they have nothing to back it up with. Just like AOC, nothing.
I'm going to deal with topics and issues that will make you think. The lines are open. You can reach me at 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563.
It's the Joe Messina Show.
Welcome back. Always a pleasure to have you with me. Appreciate the time you're spending with us here on the air. In the chat room, texting, tweeting, being part of the conversation, part of the solution. It does help. Helps a lot. Right? Helps push me forward, as they say. And I do appreciate the time that you're spending with us. Some of you are already starting to text and email me. It's all good. I told you, the only time I get nasty with you, the only time I will get nasty with you, is when you get nasty with me. Right? You write me a hateful, nasty note, then yeah, we're going to have a problem. Otherwise, I'm good. For all intents and purposes, I'm good with whatever you write, how you want to write it, why you want to write it, fine by me. As I said before, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged. Be part of the solution, so you're not part of the problem, as I like to say. And thanks for being a show listener. You know, I know you guys got plenty of the shows you can listen to, and you've chosen this one, and I very, very, very much appreciate it. All right, let me see. I had these all up on my screen, ready to go. There were arguments. I don't want to say arguments. There was a heated debate. Conversation around some of her comments. Let's see if we can actually get it to work this time. Okay? Let me give it a try.
Anybody who's about beating down other people is a coward.
Yeah. Trump is handing her this contrast on a silver platter, it seems.
Well, I mean, are you saying that there are people that the Democratic Party doesn't want to beat down? I mean, Joe Biden's been one of the presidents we ever had. I mean, this is not an uplifting guy.
Oh,
and
you know, it is amazing, and they're right. They don't pay attention to what's going on right under their own nose.
Come on.
So, I mean...
So you're saying that Donald Trump's rhetoric is comparable to Joe Biden's rhetoric? Give me a break. That doesn't pass the smell test, not even close.
Joe Biden has been one of the orneriest, angriest presidents we've ever... I get it, too.
Yeah, but Scott, I mean, when Trump is calling Kamala Harris a communist, you don't actually believe... Does anybody believe that?
I mean, I don't think she's a registered communist. I think her policies could be. I think her policies could be mixed up for countries that have tried it and doesn't turn out very well. Look, if you just like the Washington Post said the other day, if you don't want to be called a communist, maybe don't install their economic platform. I didn't write it, but
perfect. I mean, and this is about time. CNN very untasteful. They don't know how to handle it because they're not used to people challenging them. Right? But Joe Biden is ornery. Right? He's got a temper, and he doesn't know how to control it. But they, God forbid, they would never say anything about that. No. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. And you do have to get involved. You do have to get informed so that you get involved, so you can get engaged, right? All right. You head up to joemessina.com. Lots happening up there. A lot you can get involved with up there as well. As well you should. Anyway, I was talking earlier about how Putin, he's welcoming. If you're tired of all this craziness that's going on in the West, right? The lunacy that's happening, the liberalism that's driving us into a Twilight Zone episode. It's really simple. If you're tired of all that, you know what to do. Doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure it out. But Putin's saying, hey, come on down. Move in with us. We'd love to have you. I think that's great. I mean, he's saying, look, if you want traditional values, if you believe in mom, dad, apple pie, and ice cream, we'll take that. Come on over. So it's just amazing. All right, here's another little clip about a CNN commentator who called out the Democrats for inviting Bill Clinton. Right? Think about that. They've invited Bill Clinton to the DNC. I mean, is he a man without blemish? Is he fine for what they're pushing after getting on the cases of Donald Trump and others? Take a listen.
Listen, you're right. She's only been there a little while, but I'm a prosecutor. He's a criminal. That's not a policy. That's a bumper sticker. And again, this is a week to celebrate Democrats, but it's also an opportunity to lay out a message for people who are still waiting to hear that. And let me just add one thing. I think Kate Bedingfield is totally right that Joe Biden will talk about decency tonight. That's important. That's a great contrast. However, this is just an aside. You can take it as you will. But I don't know why Bill Clinton is still at these DNCs. He is a problem. He is a bad look for Democrats. He has been at every DNC since he was elected, and there's no good reason for it. Quit Bill Clinton. Finally, please.
That was perfect. Right? Former White House Communications Director for President Biden, Kate Bedingfield, said that the Democrats' core sense of decency would be on display during the speech at the opening night of the Democrat National Convention, right? Which is why they put Billy Bob Clinton up first and Jesse Jackson up. You have to giggle. You know, the modern West, once a beacon of freedom and tradition, is crumbling under the weight of its own radical leftist policies. So Putin is jumping in, not only to take advantage of that in the war world, but in the normalcy of the world, if you would. He goes from the relentless push for the LGBT agendas, the hysteria of climate change, to the disastrous open border policies, what's being taught to our children in schools, the globalist elites that have pretty much taking over every one of the issues going on in this country. They really want to dismantle what this country was built on. So President Putin, he's extended a lifeline to those who wish to escape the madness of Western liberal agendas. In an unprecedented move, Putin has signed a decree offering sanctuary to individuals fleeing the destructive neoliberal ideals that have come to dominate the Western world. Now, TASS, the Russian state-run news agency, reported on this initiative, stating Moscow will provide assistance to any foreigners who want to escape the neoliberal ideas being put forward in their countries and move to Russia, where traditional values, not traditional freedoms, but traditional values reign supreme. Under the decree, foreigners who reject the woke ideologies of their own nation will be granted the right to apply for temporary residence in Russia. Now, unlike other immigrants, those individuals will not be required to prove their knowledge of the Russian language, history, or basic laws. Instead, their applications will be based solely on their rejection of unhealthy attitudes being imposed by their governments. Wow. He sounds more like a patriotic American than Americans do at times. Right? Applications may be based on rejection of their country's policies, according to the official press release, aimed at imposing destructive neoliberal ideas on people which run counter to traditional Russian spiritual and moral values. The values are listed in the foundations of the Russian state policy in this field. While the Russian government is expected to compile a list of countries imposing unhealthy attitudes on their citizens, the foreign minister has been instructed to start issuing 3-month visas and such applicants as early as September. In February, Putin supported the idea of Italian student Irene Chechny. The Russians should ease entry rules for those who share traditional, cultural, and family values. The head of state agreed, and they moved forward with it. In recent years, small but notable groups of American citizens have made the controversial decision to defect to Russia under Vladimir Putin. Now, the most famous American to pull that off, obviously, was Edward Snowden, a former National Security Agency contractor. Now, Snowden, well, he kind of hung himself on this one because he leaked classified information. Look, if he didn't like it here and he really felt like things were going bad, there are other ways to make this happen. Seriously. In November 2020, NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden applied for dual citizenship of Russia. He was granted it. And remember Biden's sexual assault victim, Tara Reid, was also granted asylum in Russia. She fled to Russia in May of 2023, and she sued the Department of Justice over alleged misconduct. Gee, that's nothing new. We haven't heard about that before, have we? She said she was seeking political asylum in Russia because Biden's Justice Department is after her. Well, not a defector in the traditional sense. Action movie star Steven Seagal, who became a Russian citizen, has become a prominent figure in Russian-American relations. Now, that I didn't know. I would love to find out. Love to find that interview as to why he switched countries. Really. Well, they were loving all over the man. We'll talk about that more after the break. In President Trump in Pennsylvania, they were yelling at him, "Thank you for being the people's president." And that's what you need more of. Pennsylvania is now Trump country. President Trump traveled to the key battleground state of Pennsylvania to hold a press conference, right, on Monday on the economy. Just irritating the heck out of Camilla. Trump was greeted by supporters as soon as his wheels got down in New York, or in York.
I haven't got a brain, only straw.
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know. But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Yes, I guess you're right.
We are back. Joe Mazzini, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. I was just telling you about how President Trump traveled to Pennsylvania, battleground state. He had a press conference there on Monday, pretty much just teasing and poking at Camilla, which is fine. Definitely the way to do it. But he quickly found out how much he was loved there. I mean, again, Pennsylvania, not a Republican state to speak of, is it? Seriously, when he got there, he was signing hats, signing shirts, signing arms. Take a listen.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you. We love that show. We put you back in the way. Thank you.
Well, he's signing hats. That seems to be the signature thing for him. Signing those hats. Right? And, man, I tell you what, they are honestly and truly excited to see him. They're not there looking out like they don't know what they're doing there. Right? He also gave some remarks while he was there. He said, "I'm announcing today that when I return to the White House, I will end the anti-American energy crusade terminate Kamala's so-called power plant rule. Instead of shutting down power plants, we're going to open dozens and dozens more. Trump ripped into Kamala Harris for destroying the economy, proposing communist-style price controls. They will lead to shortages. They're going to lead to food shortages, and people are going to go hungry. Very simply, Kamala Harris is on an economic wrecker and a country destroyer. Her radical liberal agenda ruined San Francisco, ruined California, crushed our middle class, and demolished our border. She set the world on fire, seriously. And it's crazy. Take a listen, maybe.
I'm announcing today that when I return to the White House, I will end the anti-American energy crusade and terminate Kamala's so-called power plant rule. It's a disaster for our country. Our country will have no jobs by the time these communists and Marxists get rid of, when they destroy the country, probably can never come back either, just so you understand. Too much competition from other countries that are doing it right. We have a lot of competition out there, not only China, we have a lot of other competition. Instead of shutting down power plants, we will open dozens and dozens more, and they'll happen fast.
We need it. We need the power plant. Look at it. Here in California, we're spending over twice as much in electricity as we were just a couple of months ago. The price of natural gas has gone up. Remember, we have to deliver that, they have to deliver that gas. They need parts and pieces to fix these, generators. It's just crazy here. And it won't stop here. If Kamala gets in, you're going to have more of the California crap that sunk in or snuck in. And you won't see it change. We don't need lectures from, on the economy from a candidate pushing communism. She has no idea what she's doing. Absolutely none. Right? She's never run a company. She's never signed paychecks for people. And to prove what a socialist she is, you've heard from her own staff. They couldn't look at her. When she walked in the room, they were not to make eye contact with her. Wow. I mean, talk about being full of yourself. You feeling like you're more important than anybody else. That's pretty sad. Don't you think? 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, as we say. Get engaged. Be part of the solution. I think others say it too. It's just amazing. There is a lot that they can do. There's a lot they can get involved with. And I wish they would. I wish they'd get more involved. You'd get more involved. Us-uns would get more involved in the political process. We stop them from cheating when you're doing so well. You beat them by such big numbers. It makes it really tough for them to cheat. It beats their morale down as well. Nothing new. It is what it is. Right? 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Home Depot CEO said, man, we're in a world of hurt. And, frankly and honestly, these are the guys that know how to make money. These guys know what's going on. Right? Regardless of whether an earnings report's positive or negative, management inevitably gets on the phone and spends at least a couple of breaths talking about pricing and supply chains. Now, they might be discussing hikes or, what it's costing them to do business, how it's hurting the customers. Maybe many of them talk about prices going up, actually helping profit. They won't say it out loud, because I guess profit's such a bad thing, right? Now, this is according to the Home Depot CEO right now. He said Home Depot's recent second quarter 2024 earnings report, it came out in August. It paints a complicated picture of the economy. So when they were talking about pricing, and again, you're looking, some of these companies, Target and others, some of these companies have, gone out of their way, beat their prices way down to try to drag people in to buy other things as well. They don't make money off of a one-product sale in any way. Remember, grocery stores are working on a profit margin of a little over 2% all the way up to 8% max. So it's not like this, you guys think they're making money hand over fist, so to speak. Now, Home Depot is pretty much a really important indicator of the overall U.S. economy, because what are people doing there? Not only that they're working there, but they're going there to buy parts and pieces to fix, update their homes. It serves particularly important. It's an indicator of the U.S. economy, like I said, overall. If you want an example, earnings typically tell whether Americans are cutting costs or spending more. And what they're spending on it. Joe Messina, your host. Don't go far. We'll finish up on the other side of the break. An American flag that was made everywhere else but America. Joe Messina here, host of the Joe Messina Show. I'm always asking you to buy items made in America whenever you can, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I own and fly an American flag made by Grace Alley, and I love it. I can hardly walk by it without saluting. Let's keep the unemployment rate low and buy American. Grace Alley flags are made right here in America by American workers. These embroidered flags are made well, and you'll be proud to fly them. Stop sending your money overseas. Keep it right here in America. These flags are fully endorsed by the U.S. government for all American flag requirements. You can find them on Amazon, eBay, and at GraceAlley.com. Get one for the house, the office, and your bedroom. Why not? Again, you can find them at Amazon, eBay, and GraceAlley.com. God bless you, and God bless America.
J&M Enterprises is a full-service screen printing company. They print on shirts, pants, hats, cups, frisbees, sports bags, sweatshirts, tote bags, and most any other promotional items. J&M has been family-owned and operated for over 25 years. J&M takes pride in providing high-quality products and services because we care. Our state-of-the-art equipment enables us to print high volume with superior quality on any job. We print on clothing lines for schools, businesses, sports teams, and bands nationwide. Our team is committed to total customer satisfaction and the quality you should expect from a professional screen printing company. J&M, family owned and operated. Give us a call. We guarantee a great product and a great price. 800-462-0002. For a price quote, 800-468-0002. Or go to the web at www.jnm.cc.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Are you or someone you love struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol and want to be set free from the chains of addiction? Then call Addiction Helpline America right now to get the help you need. From drug and alcohol addiction to dual diagnosis treatment, we provide a confidential helpline to help people like you get sober and live happy, substance-free lives.
Treatment helped me get my life back. I was so addicted, the only person I could focus on was myself and what I needed. I hit rock bottom and lost everything. Through treatment, I was able to overcome those demons and focus on my family again.
I used until I overdosed and almost died. That was the end of the road for me. After seeking treatment, I now have hope. I learned skills that help me deal with life on life's terms.
800-932-1745. 800-932-1745. 800-932-1745. That's 800-932-1745.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
The thoughts of others screech at them like the forced laughs of a billion art house movie patrons.
Thus, they travel from world to world, making everyone stupid in order to wipe out all thought in the universe.
My God! They're like flying television!
There's a visual. Flying television. I just like it. 855 Real Joe, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, truly be. Truly be part of the solution, and I mean that sincerely. Let me see. I thought I was going to be able to get Joey B's speech up here, and they were broadcasting it live just a little while ago. Can we do it? Because that would be cool. Not that it'll be easy, but it'll be cool. But, is it his farewell address? Does anybody know? Does anybody care? Right? Do we want him gone and get Camilla in there? I don't think so. Here, take a listen. I might be able to pull this off.
Are you ready to vote for democracy and for America? Let me ask you, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? President and Vice President of the United States. My fellow Democrats, my fellow Americans, nearly 4 years ago, in winter, on the steps of the Capitol, on a cold January day, I raised my right hand and I swore an oath to you and to God to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. In front of me was a city surrounded by the National Guard. Behind me, a Capitol just 2 weeks before had been overrun by a violent mob. But I knew then, from the bottom of my heart, that I knew now, there is no place in America for political violence. None. You cannot say you love your country only when you win. In that moment, I wasn't looking to the past. I was looking to the future. I spoke of the work at hand, the moment we had to meet. It was, as I told you then, a winter of peril and possibility. Of peril and possibility. We're in the grip of a once-in-a-century pandemic, historic joblessness, a call for racial justice long overdue, clear and present threats to our very democracy. Thank you. I believe now that progress was and is possible. Justice is achievable. And our best days are not behind us, they're before us. Now it's summer. The winter has passed. And with a grateful heart, I stand before you now on this August night to report that democracy has prevailed. Democracy has delivered. And now democracy must be preserved. You've heard me say it before. We're facing an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not hyperbole, I mean it literally. We're in a battle for the very soul of America. I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas, and chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House that they saw as an ally. They didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Hate was on the march in America. Old ghosts in new garments, stirring up the oldest divisions, stoking the oldest fears, giving oxygen to the oldest forces that they long sought to tear apart America. In the process, a young woman was killed. When I contacted her mother, I asked about what happened. She told me. When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant. That's when I realized.
I love it.
Had to listen to the admonition of my dead son. I could not stay in the sidelines. So I ran. Because I had no intention of running again. I just lost part of my soul. But I ran with a deep conviction. In America, I know and believe in an America where honesty, dignity, decency still matter. An America where everyone has a fair shot and hate has no safe harbor. An America where the fundamental creed of this nation, that all of us are created equal, is still very much alive. And a broad coalition of Americans joined with me. 81 million voters voted for us. More than any time in all of history.
Well, not quite.
Because of all of you in this room and others, we came together in 2020 to save democracy.
You can't save something we aren't.
As your president, I've been determined to keep America moving forward, not going back, to stand against hate and violence in all its forms, to be a nation where we not only live with but thrive on diversity, demonizing no one, leaving no one behind, and becoming the nation that we profess to be. I also ran to rebuild the backbone of America, the middle class. I made a commitment to you that I'd be a president for all Americans, whether you voted for me or not. We have done that.
All right. I can't do it. That many lies that quickly, I can't. My stomach won't digest all that. 855 Real Joe. 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of. Always appreciate the time that you're spending with us here on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, and truly being part of the conversation. That's what, I've been saying this for a long time. I mean, in all sincerity, I've been saying it for a long time. You really got to pay attention to what's going on and start local. Stay local with your water boards, your city councils, your school boards, and so on. Get comfortable with those. And then it truly becomes a whole different animal. It truly makes a big difference. All right. Take a breath. Again, we're back to the CEO from Home Depot. They had a very, very small growth this year. But the big part of what he was talking about is this really shows you where people are at. Are they comfortable with the growth? Do they truly believe that this country's coming back or the economy's coming back? They're hanging out waiting. I don't blame them. Joe Messina, your house. Be back in a few minutes.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order, plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger, so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com, use promo code TREAT at checkout, and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
I'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Get the Tea. Get the Tea carries all natural, non-GMO organic teas and supplements made in the USA. Get the Tea's ingredients are the purest available. My favorite is Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a gentle daily cleanse containing 12 herbs that when combined really keep things moving. I drink it every day and my energy has never been better. I'm feeling great. Life Change Tea comes in 3 delicious flavors: natural, peppermint, and pomegranate. It's an easy and delicious way to keep your digestion on track. And for those on the go, try D365. D365 is Life Change Tea in a capsule. Drink the tea or take D365 capsules and keep your digestion running smoothly. Go to getthetea.com and enter discount code USA to get 10% off any size order. That's getthetea.com, discount code USA for 10% off your order.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-362-9337. 800-362-9337. That's 800-362-9337.
Attention small business owners. This could be the most important 10-minute call you will ever make. You could recover up to $26,000 per employee today. And all you have to do is make one short 10-minute call to take your business up a notch or bounce back from these difficult couple of years. Omega Accounting Solutions can help you recover any payroll tax overpayments you made during the pandemic. You may even be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. All it takes is a quick, easy, free 10-minute ERC consultation to determine if you qualify. Omega is the small business champion with teams dedicated to maximizing tax credits. They know their stuff so well that CPAs and payroll companies even turn to Omega for ERC tax guidance. Call 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9ERC. 1-800-300-9ERC. Or visit OmegaTaxCredit.com.
President Biden recently released a massive $6 trillion budget, the largest budget in U.S. history. And guess who pays the bill? That's right, you, the American taxpayer. American citizens and business owners will be paying more taxes. That's a fact. And if you owe back taxes, they will be coming after you to collect payments. In fact, President Biden also hired thousands more IRS agents to go after you. If you got a letter from the IRS and you know you owe back taxes or you haven't filed in years, don't put your head in the sand. Call us today. We've saved our customers millions of tax dollars. One quick, free phone call will show you how we can reduce your past tax bill and save you thousands. Guaranteed, or you pay nothing. Call now.
800-511-6046. 800-511-6046. 800-511-6046. That's 800-511-6046.
Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you. Why don't you marry me?
Why, marry you?
You take me and I'll take a vacation. I'll need a vacation if we're going to get married.
Come on, enjoy it a little bit. They're in Chicago. You're listening to Joe Messina Show. Always a pleasure to have you guys with me. 855, come on. Real Joe, 855, I hate computers. 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, and truly just be part of the conversation. Talking about the Home Depot CEO. He was talking about the key economic indicators, telling, seeing what's happening. People aren't spending as much on their homes, spending as much doing the repair work and or buying new. Higher interest rates are making it tough. He says, a lot of these, the market turnover is 40% down than it was from 2 years ago or even a year ago. So look, it's not a doom and gloom type of thing we're trying to, but be ready for it. Be ready for what's going to happen around you or what could happen around you. Get some of the, get some of the prep food that you have to get. Make sure you have what you need to have for resources to survive. Again, just amazing. Los Angeles County, here in good old California, or City Council, I should say, they gave the go-ahead on Friday to tow illegally parked vehicles in large swaths of the city, granting workers more latitude to immediately remove RVs and other vehicles. These are the ones that the homeless people sleep in. I mean, you let it go for so long, I don't know how you think you can clean it up really fast. Officials have been struggling to gain control over the proliferation of RV encampments. They're all over the place. I mean, seriously. There was actually a pandemic moratorium on towing them. We don't have a pandemic anymore. That was lifted 2 years ago. And the towing officers, traffic officers, towing officers, whatever, it took them days to get permission to tow them. Now they've had it. So now they're going in, which I look at. I'm not so happy about it because you let them be there for so long. At least find them another, large blank area they can go to, empty lot, something. Instead of just grabbing their vehicle and towing it. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. And I do appreciate the time you're spending with us and listening and just being involved, really. All right. It's so much. Now, California's got something weird going on right now. Now, it's really not weird. I want you to think it through. All the laws that they wrote and ignored some that made, thievery so easy to do here in California, make it easy to steal, they're undoing. Can you tell it's an election cycle? So the governor signed bills to stop the out-of-control theft. All he had to do was repeal one bill in particular and let the police do their job. That's really all they had to do. And they chose not to do it. Governor Newsom emphasized that these bills represent some of the most comprehensive changes to California laws on retail and vehicle theft in years. I love some of these I was reading through. They actually had a law that said in order for you to prosecute a car thief, you had to prove that the car was locked before he stole it. Why? It's still my car. Even if I left the keys in it, left it running, and he took it, is that not a stolen vehicle? Why do I have to prove that I locked the windows and the doors? Now, they're trying to make it look like Newsom pulled everybody together to create a unified front against these crimes. The governor underscored that California is taking a more serious approach to retail theft. Right? They're going to enhance the current laws. They don't have current laws. They weakened them years ago. Now, they're going to fund 1,000 new CHP officers. Increase money for local cops. Hey, look, we'll see what happens. I don't believe it because I've seen too many nasty things happen. I just don't believe it. That's why I said we'll see what happens. Because this guy really, really is good at this kind of thing. Seriously. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. The Democrat platform, I don't know if you guys heard about this. They put up the paperwork on the platform, and it was obvious that it was written for Joe. Right? It was written for Joey B. When you read through the papers, you find out that it's, basically they're going to cut and paste Harris's name in everywhere. Because they wrote the speech, they're sticking to the speech. Now, there's 5 references on the platform identified as President Joe Biden. All right. You want to start a fight there in the chat room? Yes. Trump has been right on 99%. He hasn't hit 100. At least 5. He said that even recently, what did he say? Joe Biden was going to go to the DNC and he was going to flip the switch on them. Right? He was going to accept the nomination. Some of the stuff he gets a little overboard with, but you're right. 99% of the time he hits a home run. At least 5 references in the platform identify President Joey B. as the Democrat Party's 2024 presidential campaign. Right? The lack of editing is just amazing. Well, it's because they've got these young kids doing it. Right? The senior editor of the Federalist, John Daniel Davidson, he shed some light on it. He shared the comments on social media earlier. When you look carefully at it, so one of the lines there says, the SBA's innovative Community Navigators program, meanwhile, helped 300, this is part of his speech, helped 350,000 small businesses tap into resources that have helped them grow in a second Biden term. And that'll make it the Navigator program permanent. So they're already locked into Biden's second term. They already had this written. They were all ready to go with it. They claim that Trump still puts Wall Street before Main Street. In President Biden's second term, he will push Congress to prosecute authorities that we need to secure, push the securities that we need to secure the border. Right? He's going to give us more immigration judges, asylum officers, cutting-edge inspections. Why couldn't he do this before? Right? Why couldn't he do this before? He's going to stop the flow of fentanyl in the second term. Why would you believe it? Why didn't he do it before? This is all part of it was already written in the speech for tonight. It was already done. He went on to say, goes on to say in the speech that during President Biden's second term, Democrats will continue to advocate for the secure development of AI. We will invest in the AI Safety Institute to create guideline benchmarks. You know, I'm still not an AI fan, guys. Sorry. Not there. You've already seen the damage done. Some of us called the damage on the front end. We knew it was going to come down to this. We knew without... You can't control it. That's the biggest problem. And if you can't control it, how good is it going to be for you? Really, sincerely. It's a big deal. Anyway, as I said before, you got to get engaged and then get involved. It will help so much. It'll save so many people. Well, it actually, you know what? Let's go a step further with that. It'll save the Republic. Really. It'll make things easier. If you're out there fighting it with information, it'll make things easier for you. And there's no reason, again, if you get informed and you give information to your neighbors, your friends, people, your colleagues, people you bump into that you haven't seen for a long time, anybody, I'm always surprised. You should be too. Always surprised at how many people don't know what's going on around them. Okay? And as I say, don't let people get away with ignorance. Come on. You know that when you ask people what's happening, I told you guys a while back, I've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I asked some of the younger people, where do you get your information? Right? How do you know what's going on in the political world? How do you know when to or who to vote for? Right? How do you know whose principles line up with yours? Now, the average answer, young and old, that I'm getting right now from people who don't pay attention is 2 weeks out from the election. The average is about 2 weeks. They start looking at the paperwork that came in, the stuff was mailed, all of that. 2 weeks to prepare. Anyhow, God bless, guys. Thanks for being with me. Always appreciate the time you spend with me here, you know, on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, just involved, engaged. And I want you to stay involved and engaged. Hey, pardon me for having a throat that sounds like a swallowed a frog. You've been listening to the Joe Messina Show. God bless. I'll catch up with you again tomorrow.